Hi, I'm Nanette Buchanan, and thank you all for coming to join us on this Back from Broken Summit. I'm quite sure you've heard so much, and you will hear so much, that will help you through your next, get you over what you're going through or have gone through. Just to give you a little bit about me. What most people know about me is I'm a planner. I plan everything. I don't let anything go by that I don't know when, where, how, and what we need to get through it. And I took that seriously when it came time for me to retire. You see, I had a great education, one that led me to great jobs. I didn't keep all of them. I mean, we move back and forth through life and make our changes. But my last job was a career. I chose the career and I chose how to go through it. I had a husband, great marriage after a divorce. So I went through that too. 2 beautiful children, plans. And during my career, I decided 15 years in, I'm going to retire. I'm done with this. 10 years I'm out and I'm moving out of New Jersey, and I'm going to sit back and write because I love being an author. I love sharing stories. I love inspiring others. And I love revealing and healing. Until I got that phone call with a chapter of my own that I wanted to change, dismiss, throw the book away. After all I had been through and all of my successes, nothing mattered when the doctor said, you can't move. You have to go through aggressive treatment for cancer. I took a deep breath because sometimes that's what we need. Just a chance to breathe it through and understand, what did you say? Did you say cancer? Did you say aggressive? Did you say there's going to be changes in my retirement before it even starts? No, that couldn't be what you're saying to me. That couldn't be what you're saying to someone who has been somewhat successful, a planner. And I had to take a step back and think honestly and say, okay, let's do this. I told him I had to move. After all, we had the house and we had already decided that the truck was coming that weekend. And we had already made arrangements to be there the following week. Doctors had to be picked. Decisions had to be made. And at that point, I thought the planner in me had it all figured out. We're going to do this and it's going to be okay. And we're going to go on. And there's nothing to worry about. And then it began. The fear that I didn't have behind the walls in a male's institution where the guys were bigger than me, stronger than me, most of them criminals, most of them, arrogant, a negative environment. 25 years. I had become an instructor. I had worked in a hospital. I had done different facets of that journey. I had been divorced. I had been through the ups and downs of the journey of life. And I had followed a GPS that I thought was synced into my success. This was not the path that I was supposed to take. And I thought about that every time that I went into the 6 weeks, every day, of chemo and radiation. 45 minutes total. Traveling to the doctor, sitting in the waiting room, prepping for the table, laying on the table, hearing the clicking sound of that Oh my God, that monstrous machine. And then having to take blood work every week, only to start the week again with every day. Well, I had gotten to the routine of it and kind of dismissed the necessary, kind of dismissed the pain. Not so much physical pain, but mental pain. I didn't talk to many people about it because I just told them I'm writing. I'm preparing for the after. That's the way I looked at it. This is 6 weeks, and after that, I'm going to be okay. Because I don't believe my GPS brought me here to stop working. I had faith and belief that I was going to be all right. Until reality hit me again. And the nurse said to me, "Today you don't look the same. Are you okay?" And I thought about it. Yeah, I'm good. What's the problem? Do you think you might need a social worker? Oh my God. Am I showing signs that mentally I'm not doing well? Am I showing signs that I'm rejecting some part of this therapy and this treatment? Am I showing some signs that I don't see because I'm so into trying to cover it up that I don't realize that I'm exposing my insecurities, that I'm exposing what may be a real problem? For her to say that was like she pulled at my heartstrings that were already torn. I already knew that there would be problems and there were possibilities. I had watched people come and go, and then not to see some people week after week. And I was in my 4th week, and this woman asked me, "Do I need to see someone?" No, I don't want to see anyone. I didn't retire to this. And as I said that to her, she smiled and she said, "No, you didn't. You're going to be okay." I didn't know then what I know now, but I felt a jolt of faith, a twinge of hope, because I was a little down if I admitted it. But I wouldn't. We hear things and we often forget that there's a happily ever after. In the midst of us going through what we have to go through, we forget to look for the happily ever after. For a moment, I stepped back and said, is there a happily ever after? Is this going to end this way? As an author, I can rewrite the chapter. I could change the surroundings. I could change the characters. I could change what's being said. But after I said that to her, that I didn't retire to cancer, I couldn't grab it back. I had to react. But what was I going to react with? What had I packed on this journey that I now had forgot that I even had? Those are the things that I want to talk to you about, because we often forget that we're built for more than just what we're going through. We're built for more than just where we are in the moment. That if we take a deep breath and breathe and let it all out, we can release some of the things that are holding us back. So I had to look at things. And these are the things that I want you to look at. The obstacles. I had to face the obstacle. Just as I had faced the obstacle inside those prison walls, I had to realize where I was, why I was there, and what were my intentions. What was the goal? And the goal is to live my best life. The goal is to be the me that I plan to be. I had to overlook those steps that were going to make me turn in the wrong direction. Of course I had fears. Of course I had doubts. Of course, I had pain because I had been knocked down. But knocked down ain't knocked out. Knocked down doesn't mean you can't get back up. Knocked down does not mean that you can fight off the battles just by moving forward. Just by taking one more step, even if you have to pause in between each one, you can get by. I had to refocus. Think about where I was and where I wanted to be. That's what I did when I was in school. I refocused. I looked at, hey, this is not where I want to be. This is not what I want to do. Change the course. Get new directions. Start over again. I had done that with jobs. This job is not paying enough. The hours aren't right. I won't progress working here. I had done it in my first marriage. It's not working. I'm not at peace. And in order for us to move on, we have to find peace in what we do, what we say, and how we handle things. I had to recognize this cancer thing is serious. But how serious am I about beating it? How serious am I about following the regimen that they're giving me? How serious am I about knowing what the doctor is saying and understanding what's on the other side? Following the guide of a GPS. My GPS didn't fail me because I had to accept me. You see, when people recognize who you are and you don't recognize who you are, you stand stagnant. I had to recognize me through it all. I am one that plans things, and cancer was not in the plan. Divorce was not in the plan. However, as devastating as both may be, I survived. I survived. My GPS was working. And you have a GPS as well. That's God's plan for success. You have a purpose. And if you do nothing but reveal it and heal from it, you can inspire yourself as well as others. Motivation is just not key for you to talk to someone else and encourage them and never encourage yourself. I had to purge that story. I had to get that story out. And I wrote Managing Your Madness, a survivor's guide. And I hit all the points that I hadn't hit while I was going through that period of struggle. I'm a 1-year cancer survivor. And although after that 6 weeks of treatment, I still had to have surgery, I still needed the courage to step on. I still needed the courage to move forward. I still needed the courage to release another book and write Managing Your Madness. I still had to have that courage. And I wrote Managing Your Madness talking about stress and anxiety and the nights that I didn't sleep. And who do I talk to? Who really understands? Because you don't want pity. You don't want someone to look at you and go, "Aw, bless your heart." You don't want someone to look at you any less than they looked at you before you broke, before you lost, before you were challenged. You don't want anybody to look at you that way. And I didn't either. And I'm here to tell you today that as an author, I had to purge it in writing. And you've heard it. People tell you to journal. People tell you to write poems. Write down your feelings. And if you don't know what that is, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you purge whatever it is that you want to tell anyone out there that needs to reveal, heal, and be inspired by your story. If you want to know more about managing your madness, you can go to my website, www.NanetteMBuchanan.com, and get a copy. It may be just what you need to inspire you. Also, if you want to be that author, maybe you don't want to write for everyone else, but you're stuck with the thoughts. You just need that one-on-one to get that story out. You just need that one-on-one to get everything you need out. You just need that one-on-one to make you the next author. Well, if that's you, ipendesigns@gmail.com is where I need to read your email so that I can make that connection for you. It's all about your GPS. Where you need to go is to your next level of success. And God's plan for success worked for me, and it can work for you. Thank you for being in my audience. Thank you for being you. And I welcome you to come to my website or shoot me an email. And we'll talk about it then.